Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take another look here at XRP, see what's going on. We have this bearish type of flag pattern forming here. We'll talk about that and a few other important factors just to kind of be mindful of, because when you look at trading charts and trading patterns all day long, you can oftentimes convince yourself there's something there that isn't. So I'm just throwing it out there. That's a potential reality for us, but do I take trades on something like that when we're in a bullish or bearish trend? Generally not. It really depends on the overall sentiment, okay? So with this looking pretty decent here with this continuation higher, there's more likelihood of breaking up than down, but we also got to recognize Bitcoin is in a precarious situation. It's pulling back to this $86,000 support range. If we do see that level retested, we'll probably see a somewhat of a pullback here for XRP. It just seems sensible to assume the price will pull back based on that. There's also a fact that tomorrow is a crypto summit, and the price of Bitcoin's been coming up for a while. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a buy the rumor, sell the news situation where the price action is pumping and will just likely dump on a Friday afternoon as per usual. So just please understand that that's a very relevant thing. Good news is XRP performs very, very well, even regardless of that fundamental catalyst here recently. It's doing pretty well, so standing its price, I think there's a good chance that we see this go higher. Anyways, speaking of liquidation, from a liquidation standpoint, 265 to 277 is that upper range. That is more likely to get hit than anything to the downside, because there's not a ton below the price action, which is interesting because you'd expect there to be a lot of liquidation below, but there really isn't, based on the simple fact that liquidation delta is still bearish. So more people are trying to short this coin than take longs. And that really just kind of speaks to the fact that you want to be careful trading this coin right now, because there's a decent chance the price could continue to pull back. Because when you have liquidation delta for short starting to pile up and the price is going higher in an ascending type of channel, concurrent with Bitcoin pulling back, it's a recipe for somewhat of a correction. So just be mindful that is present. If we take a look here, open interest, we can see 255. We have a pretty large chunk of open interest, about 40 million there at about 255. Secondary to that is 226. So hypothetically, the price does end up pulling back. The low 230 range may be a sensible dollar cost average target. Take a look here on the daily time frame. Let's quickly recognize this and see what's going on. We want to double check this here as well, just to make sure we're on the right side here. We can see both SMAs kind of hanging out above and below the price. So it kind of tells us we're in a bit of a range. We can also recognize we're right there at 50 on the RSI, having difficulty breaking above or staying below, just kind of hanging out. We're above the moving average, which is good, but money flow index is pretty low. Too much selling pressure from 3 days ago. So this is just kind of a mixed bag of nothing super awesome. Okay. When we take a look at the bigger time frame, though, we can recognize we are starting to break free from our descending channel. Okay. And you got to recognize too, though, that this whole thing kind of got mixed up and messed up with these 2 days of nonsense. Okay. Super big pump, super big dump, just kind of typical garbage. The thing you want to recognize, though, is Bitcoin, when it pumped and dumped that same day, we pretty much had a bearish engulfing candle to follow, where XRP wasn't the same thing. It didn't pull back half as far. So it does imply sustainability and more likelihood of further upside because of it. So I guess the easy way to describe it is that we should experience or expect the price to pull back a little bit with Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin can stabilize at the 86K, 87K range, then we're probably going to be able to see this coin here continue further higher. Okay? But just know that this is a very typical type of breakdown pattern where the price will typically pull back because we have more people shorting than taking longs. We have a lot of liquidation above the price action. And we've also got this little microstructure here kind of confirming the overall trend. It should pull back. Okay, so it's kind of a weird one, but is it ever not weird in crypto? What is that? Weird is the new norm. What is it? I forget the term. One of my community members was talking about just how ridiculous the trading has been. And I think that ridiculousness is the new norm. So you kind of just got to get used to how stupid and crazy the market can be sometimes. It's just total nonsense most days. But at this point here, we're over 50 on the RSI. That's great. All well and good. We can see MACD's trying to diverge. Money flow index is high. These are mostly favorable signs. We're above all moving averages too. So from a 4-hour perspective, there isn't a lot here telling us the price should pull back. So I would definitely urge caution if you're considering a short. There's no reason to consider a short. While I do think that we may still see somewhat of a correction or a pullback, we'll probably see a pivot or a bounce off this local area about 235, that gold pocket. Or importantly here, more important, let's take a look at this cloud. this does kind of confirm that we're on the right side of tracks, and there's all green lights to consider a long and or leave your long position open. Okay, so pretty much every single time frame is showing the price is more likely to go higher than lower. The only thing that's kind of contradicting that is this bearish type of pattern, which is, again, you don't attach yourself to that. See, so that's the cool thing, and that's why I like to include this in my videos, because some folks, they'll see like a hidden bearish divergence in these crazy stupid little patterns, and they'll attach themselves to that one thing when the truth is everything else is pointing the opposite direction. Right now, there's no reason to take a short, even though we have one pattern that might exude otherwise. Simple way to understand it here, folks, is work with the trend. We're still in a pretty decent trend right now, even though I do think Bitcoin's going to pull back, and we got to be mindful that XRP will correct itself too. I don't think it's going to be super substantial. I think it'll be less aggressive than this, mainly because this was just that pump and dump scenario. If Bitcoin does end up pulling back or dumping, we got a lot of support, a lot of confluence below the price, and more likelihood of the price recovering. Okay, so take that how you will. Quick congrats to our community members too. I want to say thanks again for the awesome feedback. We took a nice long from Chainlink, 30% there, and then a Bitcoin short, 56%. That was basically a short from like 90 to 82K, and then a long from Link, 16 to 1750. Anyways, I like to highlight that because not only is it positive, but the truth is you don't see me sending out a ridiculous amount of signals. I'm not getting too crazy and just over leveraging either. Those are 5x leverage trades on altcoins and 10x leverage on Bitcoin. So anyways, just some insight and some food for thought. I like to make sure to educate everyone as much as possible. And right now the best education is to trade less and to learn more. Okay, if you can do that for yourself, you'll be doing a lot better. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Really appreciate your time. Last but not least, Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Feel free to join over here. I provide a playout chart that this will be available for you too if you're watching this right now. Okay, thanks again for your time, folks. We'll see you the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.